man, some of this stuff is. I'm not going to play anything graphic that's bloody or anything like that. I'm just going to show some of the more of the stuff that's been happening over the last couple of days that I've been watching. So this is when Trump wanted to go to the church and hold up his Bible and talk about how Christian he is. They had the National Guard clear the protesters and spray gas canisters at them. A war crime, by the way. If this was a battlefield, if this is a battle zone, using tear gas is a war crime. So here's what Trump did. And by the way, this isn't anti-Trump. This is just like the reality. If the protests were happening and it was Biden, I bet you he would do the exact same thing. So I don't like to watch all the negative stuff, but I like to mix it up with some of the good stuff. This was good also. It was good to see the Philadelphia mayor addressing this racism problem. The protesters 2 nights ago, I think, were spray painting and graffitiing this statue of the former mayor who was very racist and he was against desegregation. And, you know, this statue has been a contention point for 20 some years now. And they removed it, thankfully. So people were pissed off. They were doing things like that. And, you know, if you're a veteran, you're going to be angry that you're seeing the American flag burned. I saw a video. I didn't cue it up, but I saw a video of a black veteran who was just brought to tears by watching this American flag burn. Not in this specific case of the racist statue, but somebody in New York just burnt the flag that was like hanging off a building, and the guy was like, you know, I died with members serving with brothers and sisters that died defending that flag, and now these looting idiots are burning the flag, and it just was an emotional thing. So, you know, there's all kinds of different sides to this. It's not just protesters against the cops. It's many different sides feeling a lot of different emotions, and it's coming out in chaos. So this was the statue, and they did remove it, and I don't think that I have the video, but anyway, they did remove it, which was good to see. So I've got a few more here. This was another one that made me a little pissed off when I heard this. This was audio from a unencrypted police scanner where they were talking about protesters blocking the streets, and then the police officers basically just saying, run them down.
We have a group of people blocking traffic on Albany and Dean Street. They're refusing to let the orange go eastbound on Dean Street and Albany. So we're stuck here. Run them over. Shoot those motherfuckers. Don't put that over the air.
Don't put that over the air. Like, he didn't say don't say that or that's not right. He said don't put that over the air. So they can say this to themselves all they want. They just don't want this stuff going over the air. That's kind of what I take from that, which is aggravating. It's like enraging to hear the police officer say shoot them, run them over. Like, let's listen to this again.
We have a group of people blocking traffic on Albany and Dean Street. They're refusing to let the orange go eastbound on Dean Street and Albany. So we're stuck here. Run them over. Shoot those motherfuckers. Don't put that over the air.
So you wonder why people are pissed off, and you wonder why people are rioting and looting and attacking cops and stuff. It goes from, oh, we're stuck. We can't get by because people are protesting our police brutality. What should we do? Let's shoot them and run them over. Like, that's literally what we just saw there. And this is what people are protesting about. This is why people are trying to change the oppressive authoritarian system that thinks of you as just a thing in their way, or just doesn't think of you really at all other than a nuisance or an enemy or something like that. I mean, here's another one that I'm not trying to show anything brutal or anything like that. I'm just showing some of the things that, I mean, there's a lot of gross things online, a lot of things where people actually get killed and stuff on video, and I don't want to show anything like that because it's just too hard for me to see that. But this is some more of what the police have been doing. So this was a protest where the people were just upset and they were just vocalizing what they were feeling and saying, you don't have the balls to protect us. You're more against us than you are for us. Like, they were just getting this off their chests. Obviously, they're not violent, these protesters. Maybe they threw some water bottles or something like that. It looks like there's water bottles all over the ground. It's not like they're throwing tear gas at them or shooting them with rubber bullets or paintballs or something. They're just pissed off. So this guy is just commenting. You don't have the balls to protect the streets. So he's talking about how they're prematurely using excessive force, shooting people, and they're not protecting the streets. And what do you think the police are going to do? Gee, I wonder what's about to happen. So yeah, that's what was that guy doing that was so violent or illegal? What was that guy doing that was illegal? That they had to pepper spray the people all around him, take him down and tase them. And look, they're still pepper spraying people. Just for what reason? And it's no wonder people are pissed off when you see stuff like that. So it's hard for me to be on the side of the police. It's hard for anybody to be on the side of the police when this is happening. This was a chaotic scene. There's nothing to do with police in this one. I just wanted to show this because it was just interesting. I saw this people are. It's like the Purge a little bit out in there, or like a Fast and the Furious movie right here. Nobody gets hurt. Santa Rosa is popping off. I guess that's what the Zoomers say these days. It's popping off. Unfortunately, none of these protesters seem to be respecting social distancing rules. So, yeah, here's another purge moment. Nobody gets hurt or anything in this one. This is just another video I saw that was like live on one of the streets during one of the protests. That it just kind of captures the energy and the spirit of most of the people that are out there. They're just kind of out there to blow off steam and cause some little havoc and chaos and have their voices heard. But I really don't think most of the people that are out there are trying to be violent or trying to break windows and smash into businesses and steal stuff. He's littering. That's not right. That's some good recycling there. That guy worked so hard on that recycling box, and he threw it. It is a crazy time. Like, who would have thought about a week ago that during all this coronavirus lockdown stuff, people would be on the streets now, not social distancing, protesting. I mean, we've got two issues going on at once. But anyway, I'm gonna shut up. And here's another one. This was where was this? It was people that were. Oh, it was Ahmaud Arbery. They were protesting. They were protesting him. Yeah, I don't know where this was, but they're protesting the murder of this fellow, of the three of them, I guess. Anyways, look what the police do. Like, these guys are peaceful. This group of people is totally peaceful, just trying to exercise, what is it, the First Amendment right, you know? And these cops don't want to let them peacefully protest. Like, how disrespectful is this? That's a symbol. That sign is a symbol of the police brutality and the injustice that's been done. And look what these guys are doing. What did that guy do? So, yeah, what did that guy do? This is just more of, and you're gonna get a lot of this stuff because of so many cameras around now. But I'm gonna show some of the other sides of this. It's not just one-sided. Like, here's the kind of like the fringe people that are trying to cause some shit. They actually get stopped. And the black protesters grab this anarchist guy. This, maybe he's an Antifa guy or an agent provocateur. Like, who knows what this guy is, or just an anarchist. And they give him to the police, and then they almost arrest the black guy too. That's trying to stop this guy from vandalizing the street, taking bricks. They're saying, hey, they're saying, not him, not him. Because they took the black guy too. So they gave him back. So there you go. It's like, it's not just everybody's on one side here. Clearly, it's not that everybody's a looter, and it's not everybody's violent and causing problems. There's a lot of people that are legitimately there protesting the murder of George Floyd and other people as well. So there's a lot of different sides and there's a bunch of nuance happening here. And I always wonder if they're agent provocateurs. Like, how do you know? For one, you can't really know. There's sometimes you can tell people get doxxed or whatever. But like that guy, he was gray hair. The dude looked young, but then when he took his stuff off, he was gray haired. So I wonder, like, they must have a system where they just let them be arrested so that they can't tell that it's like one of their own, and then maybe once they get taken back to the precinct, they get let go or something. I can't remember how it was done in Quebec when they actually caught the police and the agent provocateur policeman. So let me grab a couple more here. There's something weird's been going on as well, where there's private police now, like militarized police, where they're not actually the police. The guy said that the guy put a semi-automatic pistol in his trunk before this. So, I mean, that's kind of weird. Private police out there now. I'll give that guy a like. There was another one too. Yeah, this one was kind of symbolic. Lincoln Memorial. I'm pretty sure the Lincoln Memorial is where Martin Luther King gave his speech. Yeah. So he gave his I Have a Dream speech on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. And symbolically, now it's being guarded by private police or military or private contractors or whatever this is, National Guard. But at least they've got face masks on. They're not social distancing though. Yeah. It kind of feels like straight out of 1984. This is a video of a protest in Amsterdam, people showing solidarity all over the world. In France too, there was a big protest because they've been also dealing with their own police brutality issues, and there's a massive protest happening in France. France has been dealing with the yellow vest. I think that's what it's called. The yellow vest protests over mostly it's financial issues. And yeah, you're seeing this happen all over the world. Oh, this is I got a couple of good ones here showing more of like the nuance that, it's not on the same team. It's not all the same. Like this is a white guy trying to loot a store, a hair shop. Like obviously what's he doing trying to loot a hair shop? He's trying to steal money from this private guy's business. The black dude comes like, give me that damn skateboard. So, and then this guy comments, Fox News would say this is black anarchist steals nice white kid skateboard, which is so true. Like the left versus right thing is absurd. This is another one where people turned against the anarchists and the guys, the looters and stuff like that. This was good. So wait, I missed it. So dude's trying to, I guess, light some kind of extremely big thing. He's trying to light up a thing. So they throw it back in his car. So people are pissed off at in general, and it's not a good time to be a shit disturber or an agent provocateur. And this is another one, just police being brutal. The person's in a convertible, so because you have access to smash at the person, you do it. Like why would they do that? And this is not a one-off thing. Like there's I showed a video earlier where the police were marching up almost like a stormtroopers or something, like an army brigade or something, and then just start smashing the car windows. And the one where the cops are putting out bricks. So I mean, this one is kind of vulgar or graphic. You can't really see anything, but this is on the other side of it where the protesters kind of retaliate and cops trying to arrest some people, and then someone comes up and runs over the cop. So I don't know if I want to play this, but let me just warn you now, just skip ahead like 2 minutes if you don't want to see somebody get running over some police officers from a far away view. This was Buffalo. I mean, look, what were these guys doing? What was so wrong about... What were these guys doing? Look, hands up. The guys, they've got hands up, and they just brutally... I think one of those guys is a cameraman, it looks like. He's got a backpack with, looks like he's holding a camera. Like, this looks like a war zone. So, like, it sucks seeing shit like that. It sucks seeing police murdering unarmed black men. It sucks seeing people revolting and rioting against the police, and that officer may have gotten killed there. I think in the end, he was taken to the hospital. I don't know what happened, but this is boiling over. It's not right on either side. This is another one where I don't want to play this one too, because we just showed... I don't like playing any of the videos where people get like really hurt, because we know what's happening and you can see it if you want, and it's happening on both sides, so it's not just one or the other. But let me finish off with what I started with, which is what else do you have? Like, we're faced with two choices: an old white racist guy that was accused of sexual assault, or Donald Trump. See what I did there? Because Joe Biden actually has said some racist things in the past and has supported the racist drug laws and has been vocal about defending his actions to militarize the police and almost demonize the inner city black youth as the other, as the enemy. And Jimmy Dore has a really good video about that. So if you want to watch that, look for the Jimmy Dore video. But I'm going to end this now. I've been going for a little bit. I'm just going to finish with my other article that I wrote. Debt, slavery, Bitcoin, and Black America. And thanks for watching. When I'm finished reading this, I'm just going to end. So thanks, Graham, for coming on. And if you guys want to follow me, I'm on Twitter at Brad Mills Can, or if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe, please. My podcast is called Magic Internet Money Podcast. It's primarily about Bitcoin and free speech and a little bit of politics. And anyways, I'm just going to finish up with this. So here we go. This was written a couple of days ago. It's now June 3rd, so I wrote this May 31st. It's May 31st. We've just seen the beginning of what some are calling the American Spring protests. This is not all about racism. Massive protests have been erupting all over the world in the last 18 months, from Hong Kong to France to Iran. Protests in America are fueled not only by yet another racist cop murdering an unarmed black man, but also the same energy behind the Occupy Wall Street movement during the last financial crisis, as well as the Arab Spring movement. In the West, it feels like the anti-Trump movement, the Black Lives Matter, and Occupy Wall Street movements have been merging together, culminating in violent clashes all across America. The police have mostly been the violent ones, brutally targeting everyone, including the iconic moment when a black CNN journalist and his crew were arrested live on TV. Last night's events was mixed with far-right Confederate flag-toting agitators attacking protesters with crossbows and vehicles, regardless of their skin color. Those viral snippets seem to be fringe events, though. For every one alt-right or alt-left violent act, there were 100 police brutality events. Far-left agitators have been brutally attacking business owners, leading to Trump declaring that Antifa will be declared a domestic terror group. There's a fragmentation of the nation's psyche here, because this is not just a political issue or a race issue. Only about half of America voted in the last election. 25% for Democrat, 25% for Trump. 50% were not motivated by either candidate to even vote. Hong Kong saw historic voter turnout in the recent election. About 70% of its citizens voted to install a pro-democracy government by a landslide. Now, 6 months later, we see China is done with democracy and is now blatantly absorbing Hong Kong and circumventing the will of the people of Hong Kong. That's the difference between protests in China and America. Both systems seem to be broken. We see police brutality in both the democratic system and the communist system. But at least in America, there's still hope because of things like free speech. Killer Mike gave a moving speech that you can still find on YouTube. If this was China, he would not be allowed to speak his mind, or he'd be censored, or rounded up and placed in a re-education camp. Russiagate and the mainstream news' obsession with Trump has fractured the American trust system. The fringe now sits in mostly opposite camps, wholly distrusting each other. CNN versus Fox, Republican versus Democrat, left versus right, COVID versus just the flu. The Democrats are offering nothing to solve this problem either. The left and the Clintons are to thank for the militarization of the police. Clinton's tough on crime and three-strike stance in the 90s has led to the systemic racism that sees black and Latino men harvested from inner cities to be planted in for-profit prisons for nonviolent drug crimes. Obama did nothing to move towards decriminalization of marijuana. On his way out, he did a token pardoning of some nonviolent drug criminals. Too little, too late. You can't blame Trump or the Republicans for Clinton's policies or Obama's failures to change and provide hope. You can blame Trump and Bush for also not changing the racist prison system and drug laws. If you've not watched the Netflix documentary 13th, I urge you to do so. America is definitely broken, and systemic racism is real. Police brutality is real, and it's a threat to everyone, regardless of skin color, as we saw last night during the protests. Unfortunately, The current Democratic Party is offering nothing as a good alternative. We have Joe Biden saying, if you don't vote for me, you're not black, showing he has absolutely no sense of what's really going on. I don't understand how he can't see how disrespectful that is to black voters. The majority of America is not hard left or hard right on the political issue, but the majority of people seem to be against both racist police killing black people and also against violent protests and looting. If you're drawing a line in the sand at putting yourself in the shoes of the people who go from protesting to looting, let me challenge your thinking just a little bit. In America, protesters took to rioting and looting big businesses. Whether these looting sprees were started by agent provocateurs or not is irrelevant. The energy behind the event is what matters. If you're critical of protesters looting, why are you okay with the Federal Reserve looting your own pocket? Elite bankers have literally been stealing wealth from every generation for the last 100 years. Banks have 0% interest, yet they charge you 20% on your credit cards. Why is that? Banks print the money for nothing, loan it out to you for cars and houses at high interest rates. Does that seem fair? People are more in debt than ever in history. The wealth gap is higher than it's ever been. Average interest rates are higher than ever before. The largest companies have been abusing the system of public pension plans and stock buybacks to make hundreds of billions in bonuses and fees. They're too big to fail. So, when hard times come, they get bailed out. This is not capitalism, it's cronyism and corporatism. Capitalism is not the problem. Corruption is. Tax dollars are being used to bail out banks. Tax dollars are being used to bail out billionaires. Tax dollars are being used to beat down protesters and press. Tax dollars are even being used to pay for the police brutality fines. The average person has been cooped up at home due to COVID lockdown measures, losing income, feeling desperate, while Wall Street is making record profits. The stock market has disconnected from the economy. What are the big banks adding to society? Nothing. They aren't producing anything of value. All they're doing is looting. When they print trillions of dollars, someone's going to pay for it. Our kids. Your hard-earned savings is being devalued by central bankers printing trillions to prop up the stock market Ponzi scheme that disproportionately benefits the 0.1%. We are in a system of control and debt slavery. You can opt out, but you have to be aware the game is rigged against you first. They don't want you to wake up to the fact that money itself is an illusion. When governments can print unlimited money, they can enforce unlimited violence. Systemic change is needed, but most people are pissed off when they see the news. Yet they have families and don't want to risk their own safety by going out and protesting. You can be smart by protesting the system and benefiting yourself and your family at the same time. You can take steps to protect yourself. You can vote with your money and exit the corrupt fiat system. And then here's a link to Bitcoin and Black America by Isaiah Jackson. My Twitter friend Isaiah Jackson wrote this book about how you can use Bitcoin to separate from the racist banking system. Hopefully someone finds this relevant and takes a step to channel their anger to change their life for the positive. Don't just get mad. Get Bitcoin. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching.